my God! You won't believe what's happening in the Diddy drama, and trust me, this is absolutely shocking. Just when we thought things couldn't get any messier, Lil Rod has dropped a bombshell that's leaving everyone's jaws on the floor. I'm talking about a leaked video that's causing absolute chaos, showing what people are calling a disturbing shower situation. But hold on to your seats, because that's just the beginning of this wild ride.
We were at Puffy's Los Angeles house, working in the studio. He says, I want to work in my bathroom. Everybody bring everything. So we break down the studio, get the instruments, and go to his bathroom as usual.
Let me take you back to where this explosive story began before Diddy found himself behind bars. It all started with Lil Rod, a producer who worked closely with Diddy, coming forward with some seriously unsettling accusations. The claims he made in his lawsuit were absolutely shocking, alleging that Diddy had touched him inappropriately during their time working together. At that point, everyone thought we'd heard the worst of it, but oh honey, were we wrong?
I apologize to anyone this video may be embarrassing to. Let's just jump right into it. Some of you may know me or may not.
As this scandal unfolded, it became crystal clear that we were dealing with something much bigger than anyone could have imagined. Lil Rod was brave enough to be one of the first to speak out, but his revelations were just scratching the surface of this absolutely mind-blowing story. And let me tell you about what happened behind those closed doors. It's absolutely chilling. In the latest episode of the Surviving Diddy documentary, Lil Rod is spilling all the tea, and it's scalding hot. He's sharing a particularly disturbing incident that happened at Diddy's Los Angeles home. Picture this, they're in the studio, working like any other day when things took an incredibly uncomfortable turn. According to Lil Rod, Diddy suddenly told everyone to bring their equipment into the bathroom. Then, and I can barely believe I'm saying this, Diddy stripped down and jumped into the shower while staring directly at Lil Rod. I mean, can you even imagine being in that situation?
And he strips himself in front of us and jumps right into the shower. But he's looking directly at me. You know what I mean? I found myself getting a pat on my...
But wait, it gets even more uncomfortable. Lil Rod reveals that Diddy then allegedly patted him on the behind, leaving him completely shocked and confused. You can hear the pain in his voice when he talks about it. He still struggles to process what happened that day. And knowing that Diddy is now sitting in jail awaiting his trial in May 2025, these revelations are hitting even harder. Speaking of Diddy's time behind bars, you won't believe what the authorities discovered. While he's been locked up, they found cell phones and notes in his cell that he claimed were just part of his defense strategy. But here's the real tea.
All right, y'all. So yesterday in Diddy News, we talked about the fact that there were these notes and all this different stuff found in his cell when there was like some sort of raid that went down.
Let's be real for a second. Nobody's buying that excuse. The idea that these items were just for his legal defense? Please! It's looking more and more like Diddy was trying to pull strings from his cell, attempting to silence potential witnesses. I mean, how desperate do you have to be to try something like that while you're already in custody?
Diddy's team is basically saying that the feds raided his cell and took a bunch of privileged materials, including notes to his lawyers for the upcoming trial.
Now let me share something that'll make your skin crawl. Lil Rod's latest revelations in the documentary are absolutely haunting. He describes being in complete disbelief during these encounters, and you can see the pain in his eyes as he struggles to find the words. But that's not even the most disturbing part. He talks about times when he suspects he was drugged during his interactions with Diddy. Can you imagine the horror of waking up with an ex-worker in your bed with absolutely no memory of what happened the night before? That's exactly what Lil Rod says happened to him. The way he describes it just breaks my heart. You can tell he's still trying to make sense of it all. Some people are wondering if he might have already been under the influence when these incidents occurred. But let's be honest, given Diddy's alleged history with spiking drinks, those rumors are starting to sound more and more believable. And speaking of shocking revelations, wait until you hear what Diddy's ex-girlfriend Kat Pison shared about a disturbing moment back in 2019. They were on a yacht in the Bahamas watching the R. Kelly documentary that exposed all his horrific actions, including his inappropriate relationship with Aaliyah when she was just a teenager. What Diddy said next left Kat absolutely stunned. Can you believe he would make light of something so serious? Kat says she was completely taken aback by his comment, but it wasn't until later that she truly understood just how disturbing his words were. R. Kelly faced serious legal consequences for his actions. The documentary revealed concerning allegations about his conduct and abuse of power. The timing of Diddy's comment following the documentary has raised questions about his awareness of the situation. These concerns have intensified in light of recent allegations against him. And as this situation continues to develop, Lil Rod has expanded his lawsuit to include additional public figures. The amended filing now names Jay-Z among others, with serious allegations being made. The lawsuit has been further amended to include Cuba Gooding Jr., with Lil Rod making additional claims about interactions involving both Cuba and Diddy.
It's one of those things where I know that I'm here for a reason, and I know that as long as I do what I do and I'm good at what I do and I'm passionate about what I do, God's will be done.
The accusations against Diddy are piling up faster than we can keep track of them. In January 2025, Ashley Parham came forward with details that are absolutely horrifying. In an interview with Ashley Banfield on News Nation, she revealed the traumatic events of an evening in 2018 that will make your blood run cold. According to Parham, Diddy and two other men allegedly took turns assaulting her while recording the whole thing. The most terrifying part? She only managed to escape by threatening Diddy with a knife and running away when a neighbor created a distraction. And just when you think you've heard it all, another victim steps forward. LaTroya Grayson's story from 2006 is absolutely heartbreaking. She was just 23 when she won a contest to attend one of Diddy's notorious New York City parties. What should have been an exciting night turned into a complete nightmare. She woke up in St. Vincent's Medical Center with no memory of what happened, suffering from horrible injuries, her clothes torn, and her money stolen. As if that wasn't traumatic enough, she received a threatening phone call the next day warning her not to pursue charges against Diddy. I mean, how terrifying is that? The hits just keep coming. In December 2024, 3 men filed lawsuits in the New York State Supreme Court, all using the same lawyer. Their claims? That Diddy allegedly attacked them while they were unconscious between 2019 and 2022. Of course, Diddy's representatives jumped to deny everything, calling the accusations full of lies in their statement to NBC News. But with so many similar stories coming out, it's getting harder and harder to dismiss these claims. And there's more. Just one day earlier, an anonymous man from New Jersey came forward with his own horrifying story from one of Diddy's famous white parties in East Hampton. He claims Diddy gave him 2 drinks that made him violently ill and then allegedly assaulted him in a vehicle while he was screaming for him to stop. The trauma was so severe it supposedly led to the end of his marriage. Now there were some inconsistencies in his story. The dates didn't quite match up, and it turns out he wasn't even married at the time. His lawyer had to correct these errors, which definitely raised some eyebrows about the case's credibility. Looking at all these lawsuits and the mountain of evidence piling up against Diddy, it's no wonder people are convinced that Lil Rod has more names to drop. With Jay-Z and Cuba Gooding Jr. already implicated, who else might be connected to these disturbing allegations? As more victims find the courage to come forward, it feels like we're just beginning to uncover the dark truth of what's been happening behind closed doors. The burning questions on everyone's minds right now: how deep does this scandal really go? Will more celebrities be named in these lawsuits? Is this just the tip of the iceberg of a much bigger scandal? And perhaps most importantly, what's going to happen to Diddy now that all these shocking truths are coming to light? Will his career ever recover from these devastating accusations? Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about all these mind-blowing revelations? Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to stay updated on all the latest developments in this absolutely shocking scandal. And trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming up next in the video on the end screen. It's going to be absolutely wild.